and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have an Iida ex-listener, yeah, your point of view. Shit, I mumbled as I ran side by side with Iida. I hate how random villains recognize you off of TV. If you're a training hero, they can, and they try and hunt you down to stop you from becoming a hero, or to slow you down. So currently, I was running with Iida away from a villain that was trying to catch us. We should split up, Iida said, and I nodded. A fork in the road soon came up and I nodded to Iida. As we started to split, I tripped on a rock, falling down. Iida stopped and ran over to me, trying to get me up quickly. Got ya. I looked up in horror as the villain shot out a gray-colored gas. I started to cough, but it didn't seem normal. Iida, I covered my mouth, looking at my body. I expected my normal body, but when I looked down, I was in Iida's hero costume. The smoke cleared and I saw myself looking around frantically. Wait, did we switch bodies? I looked at my hands again and then slowly nodded. I stood up, wobbling a little, and then walked to Iida. Or really myself. What will the class think? He asked and I sighed. I don't know, but we should get to Aizawa and tell him about the situation, I said, and he nodded. As we started to walk, I noticed how heavy his suit was. How do you walk around in this thing? I asked and he shrugged. As we were walking, I got an idea. Okay, so you don't know how to activate my quirk and I don't know how to activate yours, so maybe we should talk about that for a moment, I said and he nodded. How do you activate your quirk, listener? He asked and I smirked. Just focus on that patch of grass in front of you and you should be able to teleport to it, I said, and he did so. Then out of nowhere he appeared on the grass. For my quirk, just run, he said, and I started to run, but I was given a boost of speed. I stopped, sliding across the ground. Hop on my back, we can get there faster, I said and he nodded, jumping up. I started to run, soon meeting up with Aizawa. Iida, listener, you're late, he said as I put Iida down. Mr. Aizawa, we kinda have a problem that we need to speak to you about, I said and he sighed, walking away and telling us to follow him. We walked away from the class and started to explain what happened. Aizawa nodded and we walked back into class. Everyone, listen up. While you were fighting villains, one released gas to Iida and Listener, causing them to switch bodies. I don't know how long it'll last, but try not to bother them too much. We're all going back to school now, so change into your uniforms, he said and I blushed. Wait, I started to stutter, which made my blushing worse. Don't worry, Listener. We'll help you, some of the boys said and I nodded. And we'll help Iida-kun, Araka said and Iida blushed slightly. When we got back, I was still hesitant to change. Just look at the roof, the boys said and helped me change. I quickly walked out of the room so that way they could change and sat down on the stairs outside. Listener, we should walk home together and explain to our parents what happened, he said and I nodded, standing up. As we walked, Iida kept pulling his skirt down. Having trouble? How do you guys wear these things without showing? He asked with a slight blush and I shrugged. You kinda just get used to it, I said and he nodded again. We went to Iida's house first and knocked on the door. His brother answered and looked down at Iida. Who's this? He asked and I sighed. That's Iida. He gave me a confused look. It's a long story, I said, and he nodded, letting us inside. We told him what happened and he nodded again. So, how's it feel, to be in someone else's body? He asked and we both sighed. Weird, I said and Iida agreed. If it was the same gender, then it wouldn't really be an issue, but Iida's voice trailed off. Just tell your parents that you'll be staying here tonight, he said and I nodded. I opened it to text my mom and ask that if I could stay over at a friend's house for the night. She agreed and I smiled. Well, I'll go cook dinner, you two can chat, or whatever, he said and I nodded. Did the boys help you change? Iida asked. I responded with yes. I looked at the roof so I wouldn't see anything, I said and he nodded. Same here, I didn't want to ruin your privacy, he said and I smiled. Thanks, he smiled back. Later his brother came out with some food. As we were eating, me and Iida kept taking glances at each other and every time our eyes made contact, we would either nervously laugh or just blush and look away. Time skip. So, where are we gonna sleep? I asked and Iida shrugged. I mean, my bed is big enough for the both of us to sleep and be comfortable. He started to dig in his drawer for clothes and pulled out a sweatshirt and sleep pants. He handed them to me and I looked at him. Yeah, that's not happening, I said and he sighed. I could barely change into the school uniform. Let me help you, then you can help me, he said. We changed our clothes and I looked at him and laughed. That hoodie's so big on you, I said and he shrugged. It went down to his knees, In his normal body, it might have fit normally. It almost makes me feel short, I said, and he nodded. We made ourselves comfortable and soon fell asleep. Time skip. I woke up the next morning in something really baggy, and something warm was pressed against my back. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, only to be pulled back down. I looked at what was behind me and saw Iida, but he was normal and not in my body. I jumped up and he fell off the edge of the bed with a groan. When he looked up and saw me smiling from ear to ear, he looked down at himself. "We're back to normal," he said, and I nodded, running circles in his room. Hey, calm down," he said, and I jumped on top of him, hugging him tightly. He hugged me back with a slight blush on his face. "I'm actually just really happy," I said and sat on the floor. It's just been a really long time since I was so happy I could run around the room. Small tears started to fall down my face, and Iida wrapped his arms around me and hugged me. I hugged him back, but I froze when I felt something soft touch my forehead. I looked up at Iida, and a bright blush was on his face. I'm sorry." I cut him off by placing my lips onto his. His eyes widened, but he soon started to kiss me back. We heard the door open, and I pulled away quickly. His brother looked at us when he realized the position we were in. My blush darkened. I was sitting on Ida's lap with nothing on but a baggy hoodie. "I'll just back away slowly," his brother said, and I jumped up. It's not what it looks like," I yelled, and Iida laughed. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. I know there was a lot of you nodded, Iida nodded, whatever. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm just tired. For the 10K special, I'm excited to do that, but after that, I might not be doing a special every 1,000 subscribers unless I have extra time to, because I've been pretty busy with schoolwork lately. Either way, I will see you in the next one. Discord link, music link, and server link will all be in the description, and sorry for my voice. Goodbye!